Welcome to the Mono Podcast. I'm your host, Mono. I was going to say Mono the Gamer one there. Yeah, this is episode 0, the introduction. Um, this will be my first ever podcast. So, just to start off things real quick. So, I've been planning on doing this for a while now, but just never got really around to doing it. Laziness, to be fair, but yeah. Um, so, for context, why I'm doing the podcast now. Um, the reason I'm doing the podcast now is because hold on a second. Yeah, so the reason I'm doing the podcast now is I have yeah, so I've quitted gaming. For those who do watch my content and understand, I have fully quitted gaming now. I no longer game. I deleted all the games off my PC, and I don't really at least tend. Oh, sorry, my webcam is well. I don't really intend to go back to gaming at least for a very long time. As well. Yeah, this setup is not optimal, which we don't really have a choice. Um, yeah, so I won't be going back to gaming for a really long time. But anyway, so for those who do not know me, my name is Mono. I am Irish, from Ireland. I am 19, soon to be 20, and I am a actor and a boxer, like I said, from Ireland. Said it multiple times. Apologies. Yeah, so I'm a boxer and an actor, and I'm from Ireland. I'm gonna say that about 20 times a stream podcast that I'm from Ireland. But yeah, so in this first episode, the introduction, I'm basically gonna talk about myself. Get to know me. It's episode 0, so if you don't want to really listen to some guy random on about himself, you can probably watch the next episode, episode 1. This is just episode 0 for the introduction part. So this will probably be the shortest one, probably about 10-20 minutes. I don't know how long I can ramble on about myself. Maybe a few hours if I really wanted to, but I don't think anyone wants to hear about 2-3 hours about a singular guy. Unless you're like what fucking Desmond Doss, white person I like. What other big influencers, Dwayne Rock Johnson. Unless you're listening about their life story, then yeah. But yeah, so let me start off. Enough of the rambling. So, like I said, I'm from Ireland, and I am a boxer in training, an actor. So for the so let's just start from the very beginning. Right? So I was originally a gaming content creator. So I originally played video games my whole life from when I was age 4, and from that point forward, I played video games up until December of 2023, and now I've quitted, and I don't intend going back. So, but my whole life I did do video games as content. I think I began doing content creation back in 2015. So there's that. And when did I start doing boxing? I started doing boxing. It was I think 2022, May 2022. Um, yeah. So the reasoning I started boxing was my whole life since I was young. I was bullied. So when I started boxing, that's where all I put all my being frustrations into. So growing up, I wouldn't say I had the hardest life. I am grateful for the things I have had in my life. Like I'm not gonna go say, "Oh, my life was shit." It wasn't shit. I felt that my life was more shit than it was, but it wasn't really. I had a pretty good life growing up, but I never realized it until I got older how good my life was. I was just kind of being selfish in a way, you know what I mean? I was like, I believe that I don't actually remember what I really thought back then. Don't know. Back then, it was mostly I felt like shit most of the time throughout my childhood because of my weight and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, still got a big belly and all, but I'm been losing the weight and focusing on my training and stuff like that. So that's the most important thing to me right now. But through my whole life, I've always felt that people look down upon me, but I always tried to be the nice guy growing up. There's times where I've like turned into the real asshole and stuff like that. Was not kind or generous to people. There was times where I was definitely a bit of a bit of a simp. But um yeah, but growing up, I'm grateful for the things I have experienced to be fair. Because I wouldn't be the person I am now. So yeah, throughout what was it childhood? Or yeah, primary school. So primary school's like you're like 10 or when you're 4 to like 11 or 12. No, 11. Yeah, till you're 11. So that's primary school ages. From that age, I think I was like 8 or 7, my mental health started deteriorating. So from that point onwards, all the way up to secondary school, or high school, whatever you want to call it, it got worse and worse and worse. But it got to the point throughout. So from what was it, first year to fifth year in college, secondary school. Sorry, I haven't got to college yet. Secondary school. I just got bullied more and more. I remember there's actually an interesting story. So I remember first year, I think it was, I actually nearly killed someone, funny enough. So what the story was about that is there's this guy, we'll call him D, we'll just call him D for now. Um, so what happened to D was he, so yeah, so I had very sensitive ears. So what he did was he kept coming up behind me and he kept slapping me in the ears, right? So what I did then, because I'm a big, like he was like a footballer out there, so he was like quite fit out there, but he was a skinny fella. What I did then, I just grabbed him and I threw him on the floor. So because I'm bigger, I've like fat and out there more strength. So I threw him on the ground a few times. It was like I think it was 3 or 4 times, and he really, really wanted to get on my nerves. So he kept just slapping and slapping and slapping my ears. Did that 3 or 4 times, and it was really hurting my ears. So I think it was the fifth time he came. I think it was the fourth time I threw him and he fell onto the floor. And then the fifth time, I think I really got pissed off and then threw him and he banged up against like this a corner of a wall, like a pillar, and like hitting the corner, like a sharp corner. So it wasn't like round or anything, it was like a genuine like 90-degree corner. So when he hit up against it, like he was screaming in pain and just like the guy was screaming in pain. He was on his floor and he was like crying and everything. I don't know if he was crying or not, but he was screaming. He was definitely screaming. But um, I think he's still Bruce this day. I think he's the guy still Bruce this day. But what happened then fucking is I remember what you call it. I was like instant regret in my face because I'd never liked hurting people. I was like a big softie. I never liked hurting people. So what happened then was as soon as that happened, I was like, oh shit. And then he was calling me all these names and all there. To be fair, he was Olympian. But yeah, so as soon as it was over, I felt like shit. I think I went. Did I? I think I went to the teacher then and told the teacher what happened. I was like, I threw him against the wall. Like thing. Teacher came down, and then they took me to the boy then, and what you call it? I didn't have to apologize. I wanted to apologize out of my like because I felt like shit. I didn't mean to hurt him that way. Like I just got pissed off because he kept hitting me in the ears. So and then apologized, and he kind of had a grudge throughout towards me throughout secondary school. But oh well. So yeah, then everyone kind of like I wouldn't say feared me, but they're like, oh yeah, I'm a big strong cunt. So like a lot of them wanted to be all the big tough lads wanted to be around me then because they're like, oh fuck, he's actually fairly strong, like. And so then yeah, throughout first second year, I think I was beginning of second year, all the ones were like I never I was like pretend oh yeah, I'll be your bodyguard out there, but I was just being desperate for friends, trying to fit in with the popular kids and out there. So I was like kind of being like a bodyguard. But then I was still getting bullied at the same time. But yeah. But then I kind of went on my, and I just kind of just like separated myself from that type of group and hanged around with the nerds more or less because I was a nerd, I'm not gonna lie. So I kind of hang around with them a lot more. So hung around for them for a good bit. Hung around call them Margaries. Hung around with them a few times. I didn't really get into a big fight until third year. It wasn't really a fight. So I went to a disco. I was this like I'm big, but this guy was like 2 times bigger than me. Fuck, he was massive. Like And I remember we were like, I was with my cousins not there, and we were dancing on the floor. One of their friends was with us. We were dancing, and he was like, we were telling him to leave us alone. He wouldn't leave us alone. Like we had the fight planned out. Everyone like said, right, we're fighting tonight, and this is a big thing going on in school. So he was basically on top of him. I told him to get the fuck away from him, and I ripped him by like the fucking shirt and pulled him back. Told him to get the fuck away from him. He wouldn't get away from him. So then once the disco was over, the planned fight that everyone was talking about in school, then it came to the car park. And I'm not gonna lie, I was shitting myself because I never fought before. I was like, oh god, I really don't want to fight, but like I'm not gonna back down either. Like he is a fucking bully and he's been hurt. Like even the bullies don't like him because he was like bullying them. But like everyone was like, yeah, kind of feared the guy because like there's no one taking him down. So I was like, right, and but then my cousin, this different cousin showed up, and he was like, "You're not fucking hurting my cousin. You're not hurting my fucking cousin." And he looked like he had blood. Oh, not blood in his eyes, but like murder. Murder intent. Like the mother, he would have killed him. Like, and I was like, "Let me just save me life, like you, like for all fuck." I was shitting myself. I was actually terrified, but the lad actually saved me. So that was like the third year, and then I didn't really have much drama then to like I don't think I was it actually. Fourth, fifth year, there was to be fair, there was this one guy who kept telling me to who kept trying to convince me to unalive myself. But then again, I was because I kept going on about my mental health and other attention seeking. I won't lie, I was a bit of an attention seeker back then. Yeah, so back throughout the whole first secondary school, I had shit mental health and kind of did want to unalive most of the time because of depression and shit. But most of me felt like I was. Later on, I kind of realized it was half and half. It was kind of attention seeking and out there, but at the same time, it did feel like shit a lot of the time. But yeah, so then it came to what was it? Yeah, so it came to college then. Um, so my first year in college, this is the year everything changes. So I just left secondary school. I came in. I've dyed my red. I dyed my hair red. This is where things go south. I've dyed my hair red, and yeah. So I'm going into secondary school, and yeah. So I'm going to secondary school, and I think I was about 16, 8, maybe near 17 stone. For reference, right now I'm 14. My lowest is 13.9. I put the weight over Christmas. But yeah, so right now I'm around 14, so that's about 80 something, 88, 87, 89. I don't know actually what that is, but around that area. So technically right now I'm a heavyweight. But yeah, so basically my first year in college, mental health was already poor, but I think I did like media for like the first few months, and then I hated media. So then I decided, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna go and do performing arts, acting. Because it, pardon me, I planned on doing a performing arts anyway down the line, but I was like, I'm not enjoying media, so I'm gonna swap to performing arts then. So I did. I swapped to performing arts because I was in the same college my sister went to. She went here for her music, so I decided, all right. So I joined up to the college, and yeah, I loved the performing arts. Performing arts is great. I did like I loved it far more than media. Like I had so much enjoyment, and then pantomime was so much fun. But there was this one girl, um, that I had very strong feelings for. I felt like almost fell in love with the girl, you could say, and it traumatizes me every time I think about it. So it's kind of hard talking about this. This is where I get. This is where I get difficult. But so yeah, so I remember the first day I joined the course, I asked her out for coffee, but then I kind of screwed things up because I said something, and I was like, yeah, and then she was like, she didn't like say anything. It was just, like it wasn't that bad, but at the same time, like to me, it just scarred my mind. But then hold on, I just snoozed the ad break. Yeah, then that happened, and then yeah, we are still talking to each other, and then I asked her to go on a date with me afterwards. She's like, yeah. So I was like, hey, we do, because I knew she loved singing. So it's like, hey, well, we could do something she would enjoy, and I wouldn't mind doing it. And that was karaoke. So I was like, hey, she loves singing, so why don't we do some karaoke? And she loved the idea. She actually loved the idea. At the time, I didn't realize she still had a boyfriend. So yeah, that was interesting. I have a strict rule about that. I think I don't know if I was before or after this, but I will not date anyone who has a boyfriend. Like, no, fuck off. Part of my language, but yeah, but yeah. So basically, yeah. So I basically thing, but then I kept, and then worry and doubt kept coming to my mind. I was like, oh god, I don't think she likes me anymore. And this is where I kind of messed things up, where I kept asking her if she was still interested. And I think it was like the third or fourth time I asked her, and then she basically told me flat out she wasn't. So yeah, but then we were kind of friends. But then she was like really weird about me. Like she was really close. Like I don't mean like mentally. I meant like physically. She was like really physically close to me a lot of times, and it made me feel like we had this other friend who hung around with us, and she like kind of saw it, and she was like, "That's kind of weird the way she's going on with you." She knows you like her, and the way she's going on, you don't go on around a friend like it's something you go around with your boyfriend. But yeah, it made me really uncomfortable, but it made my feelings growing out there. So anyway, throughout the year, then my feelings got stronger and stronger. My mental health got worse and worse, and by I think it was by May time, this is where we got the worst it possibly could. I never started like physically hurting myself, and it was the worst my mental health ever got. And yeah, that was my breaking point. I think my feelings grew so strong. I felt so much emotions at that point. I felt like I liked this girl so much, but then my mental health was destroying me because this girl had like other personal shit going on in her life, and I felt so bad for her. And I was like, I wish I could do something to help her, but it hurt me that I couldn't do anything, and it kind of just destroyed my mental health to the point where like I just hated myself more than anything that I couldn't help. So yeah, that was the breaking point, and yeah, it was either die or get the fuck over it and just do better, become better. So I decided that I didn't want to be pathetic anymore. I didn't want to be a weakling, and I didn't want people to walk over me or look down upon me anymore. Because my whole life I've always felt people have looked down upon me like I'm scum or filth. Even to this day, still people give me those eyes. They look at me like I'm filth, that I don't belong here. But I don't give a fuck. But yeah, so yeah, so the breaking point. So I then went to my teacher and told her this was May. I think this is before our final exam. I could have completed the course, got my exam, and got my qualification. Well, it's 2 year qualification, like, but I was my first year. But I decided no. I was talked to her and told her I wanted to take a mental health leave, and she was like, "You sure?" Like right before your exam, and I was like, "Yeah." Because the reason because I want to do this is because I just don't feel like I can do the show, and my mental health just got that bad. So I said to her then, I was like, I'm taking a mental health break, mental health leave, and I don't, can I just repeat first year? Because I was feeling I never came into college, my attendance was so shit. Because I was going to feel, I might have got a pass, might have got a pass at the best. But I was like, right. So she was like, I can't let you repeat first year unless you go and do a different course and then come back, but, or whatever. Yes, that's what it was. So we did, she's like, right, what I can do is I can set you into the level two, which is a course lower than the one I was in. So I was like, okay. So and then I had to come back this year to do it. So I did the level two, and it probably was a good decision at the time. So from that point onwards, it was May, June. I think I was going on holiday soon. This is my first holiday, international holiday. But I think it was near the end of May I started boxing. But first, I forgot when it was or what how I ran into him. But this is when. Now, if you don't like this man, fair enough. You have your opinions, and this is all this is, right? Just want to say right now. This is what this podcast is just my opinions, my feelings, and beliefs towards things. You can disagree with them. You can agree with them if you want, but yeah, that don't mean they're facts. Facts means they're proven. This is just how I think and how I feel towards things. And if you don't think they're right or wrong, you can disagree with me if you want. But there was this man who a lot of people do hate, but this man at the time kind of I felt saved my life mentally, and yeah. So most people know him as Top G, but his name is Andrew Tate. So at that time, yeah, I had no light in my life. I don't know what I was doing, and then I started watching his content. I forgot what his first video was, but I kind of like I started listening to his videos about mental health and like how depression isn't real, or if you allow it, like obviously it's real, but if you allow it to manifest and let it become real, then you're giving power to it. So I started believing in what he's saying. I started taking his information or his stuff he said and started, doing all that stuff. And I took his advice about fighting and stuff as well. So I was like, right. So I started boxing at the end of the month. Um, and yeah. So what was it then? Yeah, so I started following the thing, started losing weight. I think then, yeah, so that was the break. Started boxing it, and I haven't quit it. I'm still at it to this day, and that's been about over a year and a half to 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm still at it, and yeah. But between this period, this 1.5 year period, a lot has happened. 18 years, or no, yeah. Let's start from like, well, I'm three. Let's start from three to like when I was 18. Nothing really exciting in my life, besides like maybe a few fights. Well, in the last year and a half, it's probably been some of the best days of my life. I've experienced so much in the last year or so. I never thought I would experience. Um, like I'll go for the first thing that I've experienced in a year and a half. So I went to my first. Well, I wouldn't really say this is like a big experience. It was my first music festival. It was September, like after that May. So it was September that year. I went to the music festival. Like this wasn't a thing I really go to, but I'm not going ever back to them ever again anyway. But yeah, so I went to the festival. I got the courage to go to one, and yeah, it was good crack. I enjoyed myself. I was happy. Also, yes, I also went my first international holiday in June, I think it was. So just a month after that, I went to Turkey. Actually, a great country. Actually, Turkey was a great holiday. It was probably one of the. It was probably also really good as well that I did get out to Turkey as well because it helped me with my mental health, and yeah, that was a great thing as well because never been on an international holiday and I was trying to improve my mental health, so going to Turkey was a great thing for me. But after that, then yeah, so I went to Turkey then, and then yeah, so what was it? I think it was August. August, I finally joined my first boxing club, and did I spar? No, I think this is my first time sparring. So I started sparring him thing. I can't really remember anything from my first spar, but yeah, it was like and then I met this guy who would. He was actually a really nice guy. He actually gave me a lift out there to boxing and I left home. He was a really nice guy because I didn't have like there was no bus late at night that I could go home. So I was training like 3 days a week, and I remember I would set out training. I was waiting from training from like 1, 2 o'clock to 7. I was waiting like 4 or 5 hours. Sit like I don't mean like on a computer. I mean like I was sitting outside the club for about 4 or 5 hours because I would walk over from college to there and I'd wait a few hours until training was on because I had nowhere else to go. So I was like, great, I'll wait about 4 or 5 hours till training. I think it was like the latest I ever waited was 6 hours outside the club just on my phone. Like I was just sitting there for 6 hours. So yeah, and then it was November, I think. November was I so yeah. So just for context as well, I've had 9 fights right now. I'm currently at 9 fights, so I'm at one white collar and 8 exhibitions. So I technically still haven't had. Well, I would consider my white collar one kind of real, but I haven't still technically had a real like. I haven't had an official fight. I still haven't had an official fight, but I've had like I say somewhat of a real fight. But yeah, I've had 9 fights, if you want to say it like that. But my first fight was a white collar one, and it was for charity. I lost to a guy. I think he was an Olympic. This is funny though. The first person I fought was an Olympic Taekwondo fighter. So yeah, that was fun. Um, I was still quite overweight back then. But I see the thing is, I love watching. I might make a video soon, showing then to now like my improvement from that fight. I'm probably gonna wait to my next fight, my 10th one. Actually, that would be smart. 10th fight. do a video for it. But yeah, but I wasn't able to slip. All I did was like I'd held my guard up and just walked forward. Like I didn't slip or like roll or anything. All I did was walk forward. I had the power. Don't get me wrong. I had the power compared to him, but he had speed and stamina. Very poor stamina. I still have poor stamina to this day though. But yeah. So then after that, then I decided to it'd be funny. Yeah, it's working. Hold on. Just making sure the stream's still working. Um, making sure this is working. Apologies. Audio. So after that, then was it the fight? Yeah. So that was my first fight. Yeah. See, I did wasn't disencouraged by losing. I lost that fight, but when I lost it, I was like, I want to do better. I love boxing. But this here, I I've never felt such a thrill before. Even though I got battered, I loved it. Like I want more of this. So I continued to train until January. So the guy I usually would get left with told me he was swapping. He was quitting because he was a PT there. So he was telling me he was going to a different job. So I was like, oh, fair enough then. So I couldn't get a lift with him anymore. So I had to go find a club that I could get to and back. So this is gonna lead to where I am now. So I had to look around and I found this club that I tried to join earlier, but I didn't really like the club because yeah, I tried texting him and just no reply before. But then I texted him again just to see if they would reply this time, and he did. And I'd asked him could I join. I said it was from Armagh Boxing Club, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, pop down, and we'll see you." And yeah, so I popped down. This is my first time training with him, and yeah, it was fucking yeah, it was great. I love training with him. It was I trained. I've been training with him since then. I'm still in that club now. I train Monday, Thursday. Well, I'm trying to go join the Tuesday one. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and yeah. Well, my current regimen is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Because I'm training, dude. Well, Monday, Tuesday boxing. Wednesday is personal training and arms, like arm day, and then Thursday's training again, and then Friday is legs. But yeah, no, I've been training with my coach now, and yeah, I'm actually grateful that I met this coach. I actually generally do like my coach now. I generally respect him because I feel like my old coach. Don't get me wrong, I liked my old coach, but I didn't feel that I learned much from my old coach, and I didn't feel like I progressed that much. But the coach I'm with now, I definitely feel that even at that, I feel that he gives me mutual respect. That he doesn't just treat me like he just he generally treats me like a human being with respect, and I feel like I'm more I just feel genuine respect. I just feel genuine respect from my coach, and that's one of the reasons I respect him and out there. My mother and out there's like, oh, why don't you go to this club or this club because it's closer and out there? I was like, nah, I respect my coach, and he respects me, so that's why I don't really think about um joining any other clubs. So yeah, I've been training with him since January last year, so it's been over a year now, year and a month actually. So yeah, I continue. I plan on training with him for a good not other while. But yeah, um, any other significant highlights? Um, yes, actually, the acting. I haven't really talked about my acting career. So, last year, like I said, 2023 was April. I got my so yes, my first acting piece was in a pantomime called Little Red. It's on YouTube, and I played like this little gremlin character or evil minion. That's what he was. It's kind of embarrassing to think about, but yeah, we don't talk about it. And then I had my first. Well, I don't know if you would consider this an acting piece, but it was a movie piece. Sorry, I was in a movie. I don't think it's out yet. And I was an extra for it. I don't think I can disclose what the name is of it, so I apologize. But I was in a movie and I was an extra for it. I don't know if the movie still hasn't been released or the trailer. The trailer hasn't even been released yet. I don't know what's happening with it. But yeah, I was in as an extra, and yeah. So yeah, that was my first acting piece on TV and film. I haven't done anything since, but I got other offers, but I don't think I ever got accepted for them. And then this year I was in another pantomime. Well, technically it's not this year. December I was in another pantomime. Because I came back to the performing arts course to do it, and yeah, my work ethic and my productivity has gotten significantly better. There was like three levels. There was pass, merit, distinction. I was like originally I was like barely skimming pass, but now I was like high. Was it merit high level? Distinction like the top. I was like skimming it to get a distinction, but I didn't get a distinction. I got a high standard. So at least I think it was high skimming it to get a distinction. Like I think I was very close to get one. But yeah. So that was the pantomime. Right now we're doing theater directing, which is suffering. I've been slacking on. I'm not gonna lie. I've actually been slacking, so I'm not gonna lie about that. But yeah, that's currently my life from then to now. And yeah. What else can we talk about here? um, I actually don't know. I talked about boxing. I guess I could talk about my future plans. I guess so. What I plan to do for my future in boxing and acting is well, I plan on hopefully I plan so the reason I'm an actor, right? If you're wondering why I'm an actor and a boxer is I'd like to one day become a professional boxer. And I know one of the most important things in the modern day boxing is your ability to sell tickets. And you can't really sell tickets if you don't have much of a following or audience. So one of the reasons I want to be an actor is so I can get my face out there, so people know me and I become more well known. And I do that through social media or through acting. So if I do enough movies and films and stuff like that, TV shows, people will recognize me and be like, "Oh, hey." So when I do then go for my pro debut, at least then, hey, I'll be able to sell the shows and stuff like that. Plus, as well, one thing I don't really like Tyson Fury, but there's one thing I do like about him, and that's that he's an entertainer as well as a boxer, and the way he just entertains for the fights and out there. Even he says he's an entertainer, and I kind of like that. I kind of want to be the same type of fighter, um, the one an entertainer. Obviously, I love fighting and out there. It's one of the I love being strong and being able to fight. But I also like being an entertainer. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I want to be an actor is so I can help gain fame and help me towards my boxing goals. As well, make some make some good money. I'd love to make a lot of money. Um, but yeah, I also do love acting. Like I'm not just gonna say I'm doing boxing because I'm doing acting just to get fame. I do generally love acting, but to me, acting is a passion. But boxing to me is my reasoning for living. I don't think I would be alive to this day if I never discovered boxing. I know I said it's one of the reasons, but boxing is probably one of the main reasons I'm still going. If I didn't have the ability to fight, or learn how to fight, I don't think I'd be here now. But so yeah. But my future plans are I'd like to become a professional boxer and someday, hopefully, not hopefully, I don't mean hopefully, I plan to become world champion. A lot of people think I am joking about that, but really, to be fair, it's the only thing I really think about most days is about becoming world champion. But and yeah, and when I retire, then I'll do full time acting probably, or open my own club in my hometown. And that's one thing I'd love to do is open my own boxing club in my hometown, and yeah, name it after my home. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's really it. I think. So yeah. I'm probably gonna. That's probably do for the episode 0 of Mono Podcast. But before we do end it, I'll just explain it. What the future of these will be probably do if this does good on YouTube on like I might upload to Spotify, SoundCloud, and all them places. I'll obviously be cutting a lot of the faff. I'll be editing this down and cutting a lot of the faff out. But yeah, this year will probably be cut as well. But yeah, so in the future of Mono Podcasts, I will be doing what will I be doing? How long have I ever think? So yeah, so Mono Podcast. So the next episode will be. I actually don't know what I'm gonna do. We kind of did talk about my boxing background and all there, so I could go more into depth on the next episode, episode 1, more into depth. Um, but yeah, because I don't think I have many ideas. This might be once a month sort of thing, or twice a month, depending on what sort of topics. But yeah, I probably might research and do some more stuff, like read books up on like there was Art of War. I have. I'm just looking at my shelf right now. I have Art of War, Atomic Habits. There's one in my bag. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That I'm reading, and yeah. So yeah, there'll probably be like topics like that I talk about and other stuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Like I said, this is actually longer than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was only gonna be like 10, 20 minutes, but we actually did manage to drag it out for half an hour. That is the length I would like my podcast to be, at least half an hour or so. But yeah. I do apologize. I was meant to have music playing, but I actually kind of forgot because we kind of got into this thing. But yeah, this is episode 0 of the Mono Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, the future podcast will probably be uploaded to SoundCloud and YouTube. It'll definitely be uploaded to YouTube. Maybe some clips and other for your YouTube Shorts on TikTok. But yeah, the future probably will be. I will, well, depend on what I can think of talking. I'll find a topic that's related to fitness. Most so by the way, most of these podcasts will be related to fitness and stuff like that. It won't, well, I don't know about politics. I'm not really a big politic person, but you never know. Probably we probably won't be talking about that stuff, but depends. Might run out of stuff to talk about. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the Mono Podcast. For those who do watching, Saturday will be fitness stream. So if you, hey, you want to tune into that and watch me work out and work out with me, you can. And Sunday will be the podcast. But then again, I don't know. I might actually do, we might just watch some YouTube videos or something like that. Well, if we don't get copyrighted or something like that, because I don't know. Because obviously, I need to stream 2 days a week, and I don't actually know what to do for the Sundays. So yeah, if we're only streaming podcasts every 2 weeks, because same time, I can't, I don't think I definitely don't think I can do a podcast every week and have still tough to talk about every week. I might be once a month, might be twice a month, but I will not be every week. So yeah. I'm just gonna end it here. So I will see you guys. Apologies, I keep saying that, but I'm ending it here. So hopefully I see you guys in the next podcast or the next stream. So see ya.